The midday sun burned bright over the Arizona plains, the kind that made the earth shimmer and horses sweat through their hides. Jack Morgan, a lone cowboy with weathered boots and a Winchester strapped across his saddle, led his horse toward a lake he'd found years ago while chasing strays. The promise of cool water and shade beneath the cottonwoods drew him on. He wasn't expecting company, much less a cry for help that would turn his afternoon into a tale he'd never forget. Jack dismounted and led his horse toward the lake's edge. The water glittered like polished silver, reflecting the blue sky above. That's when he heard it, soft, frantic words in accented English. "Cowboy, help me!" His head snapped toward the sound. There, partly hidden by reeds, was a young Apache woman waist-deep in the water. Her long dark hair clung to her shoulders, her eyes fierce yet desperate. She pointed toward the bank where scraps of cloth were missing. "They stole my clothes," she cried. "Please, don't let them come back." Jack scanned the area, rifle at the ready. Tracks in the dirt confirmed it. 3, maybe 4 men had been here recently. Likely drifters or outlaws, the kind who thought it amusing to torment a woman bathing alone. His jaw clenched. He removed his coat and tossed it toward her without hesitation. She waded closer, clutching it around her shivering frame. "Thank you," she whispered, teeth biting her lip in both shame and relief. Jack tipped his hat, trying to give her dignity. "Ma'am, you stay here. I'll deal with whoever did this." The Apache woman watched as Jack followed the tracks into the brush. He moved like a predator, careful and silent, until voices carried on the hot wind. 3 rough-looking men lounged by the trees, laughing over their prize, a bundle of her garments. "Won't she squeal when she's stuck in that lake all night?" one chuckled. Jack's blood boiled. He stepped into the clearing, rifle cocked. "That's enough fun, boys. Leave the ladies' things and ride on." The laughter died as they turned, seeing the determined cowboy standing with his rifle steady. The men sneered. "Ain't your business, cowboy," their leader growled, spitting into the dirt. Jack didn't flinch. "It is now." His voice cut sharp as a blade. Tension snapped like a drawn bowstring. One outlaw reached for his pistol, but Jack was faster. The crack of his Winchester echoed across the prairie. The bullet kicked up dust by the man's boot, a warning shot. "Next one won't miss," Jack warned coldly. The thieves cursed under their breath, but knew better. They dropped the clothes and mounted up, disappearing into the horizon with dust trailing behind them. When Jack returned to the lake, the Apache woman was waiting by the shore, his coat wrapped tightly around her. Her clothes, though torn, were clutched in his hands. "They won't bother you again," he said softly. Her dark eyes searched his face, unsure whether to trust him. "Why did you help me?" she asked. Jack shrugged, though his heart stirred. "A man doesn't stand by and watch cruelty." She looked away, her cheeks warming. "Among my people, such kindness is remembered." She dressed quickly, then stood tall, her dignity restored. She introduced herself as Nayeli, meaning "I love you" in her tongue, a name her mother gave her. She explained she had been traveling to meet kin when the outlaws surprised her near the lake. She had resisted, fought back, but they left her trapped, hoping to return later. Jack listened quietly, anger simmering at the thought of her plight. "You'll ride with me till you're safe," he offered. At first she hesitated, proud and wary. Yet the sincerity in his voice convinced her. "For now," she agreed, though her gaze lingered on him thoughtfully. Together they rode across the vast plains, his horse carrying them both. Nayeli sat behind him, gripping the saddle horn, her presence a reminder of the fragile line between danger and trust. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in fire and gold, they reached a sheltered canyon where Jack often camped. There he built a small fire, sharing jerky and biscuits with her. Around the flames she spoke of her people's struggles, the endless clashes with settlers and the fear that both worlds bred. Jack, though white, listened with respect, not judgment. The night grew still, the prairie stars spread like a blanket above them. Nayeli, her face lit by the fire, studied Jack. "You risked your life for me," she said softly. Most would have turned away. Jack shook his head. "No woman deserves chains, shame, or fear. Not here, not anywhere." She lowered her eyes, touched by words she had never expected from a cowboy. In that quiet moment something shifted, an understanding, perhaps even a bond, forged not by blood or tribe, but by simple human courage. At dawn, they prepared to part ways. Nayeli's kin were near, and she insisted she could find them safely now. Jack saddled his horse, trying not to show the tug in his chest at letting her go. She stood before him, proud yet gentle, and placed her hand over his. "Cowboy, you gave me back more than clothes. You gave me back honor." Her voice trembled with unspoken gratitude. Jack tipped his hat, meeting her gaze with quiet admiration. "Take care, Naeli. The world's cruel, but don't let it steal your fire." As she disappeared into the horizon, Jack lingered at the canyon, staring at the fading trail. He had expected a simple afternoon by the lake, but had found something far greater. A reminder that courage was not measured by gunfights alone, but by the choice to protect the innocent. He mounted his horse and rode on, carrying the memory of her voice. Somewhere out there, Naeli walked free, and Jack knew the West, for all its cruelty, still had room for honor. And maybe, just maybe, for love.